Many lyrical.
Yeah, I beat down the block, pick up and drop. We got nowhere to be, so we watching the clock. Ain't no time, we don't stop. Like it or not, all you niggas get stitched like designs on my socks. I got the moves, watch how I groove. Pumping the bass, feel it all through the room. All in your face with my whip, watch me zoom. Stay up all night, then wake up afternoon. Damn, I don't know how far we'll go. We live in the moment and kill every show. We made our own flow, switch up and we gon' take this rocket as far as it goes. I wet on my toes, got ice for my bros. On another level, you can't even know. Y'all moving too slow, so we speed it up. We gon' tear this bitch up and we don't give a what. I know we ain't the only ones rocking, but I bet that we're the only ones doing it like this. We take the party low, it ain't no stopping. We control the whole thing so clean. I might just rage when I'm up on the stage. We take over the front page. All my people just rage. Get it loose tonight. Just watch my moves, aight. Old news, y'all haters, old news. We like all views, yeah, we need all views tonight. I'm like an animal, container in a cannibal. I look across the room and she shaking it like a danimal. I had them all running, like basketball. Don't involve us in no drama, cause we gon' change it all. I got the sauce, need some chicken ramen noodles. Holla shawty run her mouth, but she be looking like a poodle. I maneuver through the scene, I'm watching them all lean. Breaking the necks, chasing checks, trying to stack green like us. Stay clean like us, count cheese like us. They wanna know how we don't never say please and still make moves. We count by twos, cause one just ain't enough when we come to mess it up. Yeah, I'm at the top, you know they watching me. Yeah, I pour a cup off the balcony. Yeah, these haters thirsty coming after me. Yeah, I strike them out soon as the batter swing. I know we ain't the only ones rocking, but I bet that we the only ones doing it like this. We take the party low, it ain't no stopping. We control the whole thing so clean. I might just rage when I'm up on the stage. We take over the front page. All my people just rage. And we vibe, stepping out the whip, we fly, yeah, and we vibe, rocking to this shit all night, yeah, just let go, don't let nobody tell us no, yeah, just let go, you know that we run this show, yeah. I know we ain't the only ones rocking, but I bet that we the only ones doing it like this. We take the party low, it ain't no stopping. We control the whole thing so clean. I might just rage when I'm up on the stage. We take over the front page. All my people just rage. And we vibe, yeah. We fly, yeah, and we vibe, yeah. All night.
cooking up dog food. She play with the dick with the tosses. And smoking that leaf from Toronto. And watching that whisk like a car show. You look like you wanna get shit off your chest. I thought so. I'm back in this game, now you sit at the end of the bench. I thought so. Yeah, back in this motherfucker like I left something in this bitch. A whole gallon of the white. I'm getting drunker than a bitch. Big straps with the Mac 11s got me putting extendos in the clip. And lay your shit up on the curb. Like you didn't pay your rent. Got Papa John dope, but no pizza. The dope with his flipping straight O's and the zippers. Right off the Peter Pan, intake at 9 if you open this mill stick with you. My BBE label with guys on the table. Fuck your squad and your Dracos. This map make you jump, no Chris Carson is stable. You can scout like potatoes. Shorty saying that I am the one. Who the fuck you think she Billie Jean? She want a nigga, put her on the team. After spitting out my kids, a Listerine. The flow is bucking like it's Greek the Freak. But I keep it 44 like Pistol P. My really shitting on your biggest dreams. About the floor with you niggas, Mr. Clean. I'm cooking up dog food. She play with the dick with the tosses. And smoking that leaf from Toronto. They watching that whisk like a car show. You look like you wanna get shit off your chest. I thought so. I'm back in this game, now you sit at the end of the bench. I'm in the projects like I'm packed with a cake. They ask about it, they say missing no plate. I know the smells when they pull out them trays. It's nothing edible that sits in the place. Right out of prison, I ain't snitching nobody. And you ain't jumping lessons up on the case. I need some water so I can splash in the lake. And I need a rat so I can eat, I'm a snake. My bitch from Louisiana and she Creole with stick in hand. Hopping out like she Cleo. We ain't missing, ain't no shots at the feet. Though the out of time, got them thinking it's zero. Sticks be as long as a cord extender. You get blown like a cartridge Nintendo. Fuck nigga, extra raw like you nothing. That's because you be playing the middle. I got an issue with the streets, it's breeding snitches. That's why I'm a family guy like Peter Griffin. Heard about Western Road, think I need a Smith. And issue time with his close, I think he a blister. Matters with the clips, I'm pushing T in my sack. You want the smoke, and you'll catch a T at your rap. Alphabet sticks, let the T in the map. Bitch, I'm hotter than few, that's gonna leak out the jet. I'm cooking up dog food. She play with the dick with the tosses. And smoking that leaf from Toronto. They watching that whisk like a car show. You look like you wanna get shit off your chest. I thought so. I'm back in this game, now you sit at the end of the bench. I thought so. Yeah. It's Liddy. Okay, I'm almost wasted, and my drip is on the spaceship. One more sip, yes, I can taste it. Come to my exact location. I'm so tired of my probation, doing time for revocations. I just toasted this occasion to give myself standing ovations. What I'm drinking, that brown, that white, with the bar sirs, that ass is attracted like a magnet. I never dodge her. I drink my problems away, and that alcohol is my sponsor. And I will indulge you to the point of death. That's only if my heart hurts, cause relationships never last, and being faithful is a thing of the past. Everybody's only after one thing. Both sexes can relate to that, can replace the fat when I hit it from the back. Get your face in my pillow when I palm in your ass. Yeah, I graduated from the bottom of my class. Now I'm sitting at the top, you see the bottom of my glass. We can keep talking, I know that's where we're headed. It's my train of thought, it's so terrible to be embedded. Did I mean it? Only if I said it. Remember her face, I normally forget it. Get it, hit it, quit it. Send it on the way, package, shipment. It's hard to react if your heart ain't attached. Acting like it ain't love, you be calling her back. Wake up in the morning next to an empty bottle. Wonder what she said that made you really wanna follow. Words come out, I know I'm drunk. Somebody send me another one. Oh shit. It's Liddy.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. This is going to be my voice today. You are live with the Supreme Elite team, and we're going to be having a class today. In this class, or this live, is going to be centered around the two most important things. Two most important things, y'all. which is the accounts receivables and the accounts payables. Now, if you like this voice, put a 1 in the chat. Or if you want to go back to my regular tone, put a 2 in the chat. Because I hear a lot about my tone and how my tone is too harsh. And people pay more attention to the tone than the message. So this tone is a little more soothing to your reality, then put a 1 in the chat. If it's not, put a 2 in the chat. And we'll go back to normal operations. Okay. Just got a text from my wife to say, stop, cut that voice out. So we are back again. Normal operations. Supreme Elite Team is sponsoring this show today. Not the new culture, not Thomas Legacy, Equitable Solutions, the Supreme Elite Team. Now, for those of you who are tone sensitive or who work for the tone police, who want to detract from the message by saying the tone and attitude, you might as well go ahead and exit stage left, because I'm not changing. And the reason why I'm not changing, really because it's the normal, same old same. I can afford not to. Make sure my levels are good. So, hope everybody's having a good week. Hope everybody's taking heed to the rules and regulations set forth by the laws of this great country, this great nation. I hope those of you who don't want to follow the rules and laws of this great nation, you find solace in the fact that you have free will and free choice. You can do whatever you want. That is the perfect. Something happened. Oh, that is the perfect thing. You can do whatever you want. You can believe whatever you believe. You can say whatever you want, and you should not be penalized for your rights. But for those of you who actually want to accomplish something, then it is important that you put yourself on the right side of the law. Now, those of you might believe I'm against sovereign citizens, not really against them as individuals. I'm just against the fact that as everyone else in this world has rules and regulations they have to abide by, including myself, that they feel like they are above the law, above reproach, and above correction. Can't tell them nothing. They know it all. Even if they're wrong, they still know it all. So I kind of don't really get along with those people too much. And the fact that they like to cherry pick certain statutes without knowing that virtually every state has kind of passed what you call sovereign citizen laws that kind of make it hard for you to do what you want, how you want, the way you want, and still get the desired outcomes. And the fact that most of those people tend to only use this stuff to get out of the consequences of their own actions. Accountability is a big thing for me over here. Before court, they Jamal Jackson. Yeah, y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jamal Jackson, man, from Crenshaw. Court day. My name is Malik Al-Shahu Bay El Mo Moorish American, and I don't understand nothing that you're talking. Well, last week you were Malik and you committed this crime. I did not commit that crime. Who did I injure? Who did I hurt? So you beat someone to a bloody pulp. Well, why isn't that person in court? See, I don't, yeah, what the fuck ever. Yeah, knows that every single one of them got Social Security. Now, I know a real sovereign citizen. And this guy and his families were sovereign citizens. So they never had a birth certificate. They never had a Social Security card. They never received government benefits. They don't use Federal Reserve notes as much as possible. They operate through barter. They trade. They don't deal with banks. They don't have a bank account. They don't have a driver's license. And they are allowed to get a lot of things done. Want to know why? It's because they didn't wake up 25 years from their birth and say, hey, I want to be from this nation now. What they did was this was in practice at birth from their parents. So they don't have a birth certificate, nor do they have a Social Security card. And they, as much as possible, try not to use public roads, nothing to do with the government. I mean, they live it for real. They bought their own land. Their house is built on their own land. They homeschool. They don't do anything. And I find it real convenient why a lot of these sovereign citizens today, although they may claim that they are what they are and they have every right, I noticed that they use Federal Reserve notes. A lot of them got Social Security cards. A lot of them have birth certificates. And they think the fact that they add a hyphen in a name to the back on the back end of their last name, that's supposed to automatically change something. Now I know there's some people who does the proper steps, and I get on do not detain, do not stop list, the right to travel stuff. I get all that. Me personally, I could give two fat fucks about that because I don't plan on breaking any laws in which I would have to be on this do not stop, do not detain list. I have a driver's license. I pay my insurance, which I write it off as operating expenses anyway. I register my vehicle with the state. I pay property taxes. I use those same state taxes as deductions on my federal income tax if I decide to report the taxes as use of a trade or a business. Now, sometimes when I have tax credits, I will assess my sales taxes because I don't want to waste my tax credits. So I will assess my sales taxes on purpose just to use the credits, but it's not obligated because my business has nothing to do with the United States government anyway. So it's kind of like a give and take. I give to the system, so I have standing to take from it as I choose within reason. A lot of those people, they don't put nothing into the system and they just want to parasite the system, in which we end up footing the bill for their radical ideologies. So, those people, like I said, y'all, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to what they do and believe. You can believe whatever you want. You can say what you want. You can discredit me all you want. But the only thing that matters are the people who's responsible for processing my claims. That's all who I aim to convince. I don't aim to convince none of you over here. It's all about who's responsible, who has the authority to process this in the way that I seek. Those are the only people I need to impress. Now, before we start, today we're going to talk about two of the main things that most people tend to overlook, and well, even if they overlook or probably not privy to the knowledge or the understanding of accounting. Now, accounting, it's really just a series of entries on the accounting ledger of a financial institution or corporation. Even us, we can actually run our own books. And as long as we have them certified and they're accurate, the IRS will accept our books as true, correct, and complete. They really don't like to sift through 25 years of your accounting and your debits and credits because it's just too much time. That's why audits have really decreased in the last 10 years because it's really just too much. And y'all know with the old corporate saying, drown them in paperwork. So if they ask to see your books and you send them 1,000 pages, come on now, you really think they really want to sit through 1,000 pages? Now, there's certain cases where they're really trying to get you, then yes, they will. But majority, they don't have time. As long as it looks good, as long as it adds up, you get the benefit of the doubt. So what I want to explain to everyone today is the accounting at closing. This is the most important part of any secure transaction is the accounting at closing. Hold on one second. Let me tilt this way. Ooh, something is in my eye. It is itching, y'all. So the accounting, it all starts with a term that every financial institution does. The federal government are the masters at doing it, and the IRS as well. You ever sent an instrument into the IRS and they never sent it back, but they never credit the account? Well, if you have experienced that, you probably was a little discouraged or kind of confused as why they didn't send it back, nor why didn't they give you any type of confirmation, nor why did they just give you something. And the reason why they don't send them back, if they're valid negotiable instruments. Now we could sit here and make the case that any negotiable instrument that we send to them is valid. We can make the case if you want to be technical, possibility. But the reason why they don't send them back, because they know that the person who tendered that instrument probably doesn't know what the term off balance sheet accounting. That is what the banks use. That is what the government use. And that is what it's really called off balance sheet bookkeeping. And this plays into the term I like to say. I say they use trust law to siphon our property from us, but they use accounting to hide their obligation to us. And the reason why we don't get our set-offs is clear. We don't know or understand that in securitization, well, that's the first thing we don't fully understand. The second thing is in securitization, it's called the off-balance sheet bookkeeping. Now, off-balance sheet bookkeeping is a term where when they sell your mortgage or any other contract, the accounts receivables, those books stay with the servicer. That's the only set of books they see. But the accounts payables, they get moved off the books, so they don't see that. This is why we really don't ever have a claim against the servicer, because the servicer, they're just collecting on the accounts receivables. But you follow the money trail, and it's the person who ends up with your contract. That's where the accounts payables are moved to. In securitization, that is what they do. The government is the biggest securitizer in the world. This is why it's, although it is illegal, it's not illegal, because the government participates in it and they are the masters at accounting. So it's not the fact that a lot of stuff we did was wrong, is we don't know about accounting enough to identify our accounts payables. Now, people has given the accounts payables a lot of different names. They gave it a UCC contract trust, a Cesticade VI trust, birth certificate of trust, all caps trust. And that is the premise where you file a 1099-A, you file a 1099 OID. The government's going to dip into some type of trust fund account and pay all your debts and settle all your financial woes. But what we don't understand is, what I want you all to understand today is that in accounting and with regards to your secure transactions, you don't want a discharge of debt. I hear a lot of people keep saying that. I want to discharge my debt, discharge my debt. As a matter of fact, that is the last thing that you want. What you really want is a set-off, the recoupment. And the recoupment is the claim to the accounts payables side of the books. And the accounts payables, once you put a claim for the recoupment of the proceeds, which represents the accounts payables, then the recoupment of the proceeds, they are now used to set off your accounts receivables. So everything that you learned up to this part, talking about what a discharge of debt is, what it regards, the government took the gold, they owe us this, flush it down the toilet, throw it out the window. What you need to be understanding is the accounts payable side of the ledger, that they move off the balance sheet. And although they move it off the balance sheet, they still report it to the Federal Reserve every quarter. Every quarter. So that's 3 months. And look at all these accounts payables we are abandoning. Why do you think? And what do you think they do with it? With these abandoned securities, these abandoned proceeds, these abandoned funds, money, whatever you want to call it. You know what they do? They use that abandoned security, and they purchase government bonds with it. They purchase government bonds. The banks collects the interest off these government bonds, and we are stuck with the bill. Now, don't get mad at the bank, because the banks are doing everything right. They're doing what they're supposed to do. We need to be mad at ourselves, because it's our own ignorance that has allowed this to happen over the years. Me too. I'm included. Now, at closing, this is the major thing I want everybody to understand. At closing, when you sit down at the table closing, they hand you the keys, they hold up that sign, Y'all take a good old picture with them. You know that the good old picture y'all take with them. They probably got the little sign you can stick your hand through and everybody. Yeah, right. While all those semantics and theatrics are going on, the conversation not closing should be your claim to the proceeds from the asset, because it's the proceeds and that initial deposit of the proceeds automatically, this is according to the Federal Reserve Bank, creates a deposit liability on the banks. It's the same. Look at it like this. You're going to deposit a payroll check that you get from your employer into your bank account. It's the same way it works. That debt instrument that you signed, and this is why I want everybody to start understanding accounting as well. Because once you understand accounting, you'll stop looking at that debt instrument as something to run from or jump on YouTube to get services to help you out. Or TikTok. Everybody's selling, yo, don't pay your bet, don't pay your mortgage, just do it this, just file this. No. Because when you understand accounting, you're going to look at that debt instrument that you issue as an asset on your books and a liability on their books. So when you file your 1099s in regards to this secure transaction, you can provide the IRS an accurate statement according to the Accounts Standards Codification, formerly known as the Federal Accounts Standards Board, FASB, Federal Accounting Standards Board, which is used by every bank, financial institution in the United States of America. They all adhere to it. And then FR 2046, because this is where the banks have to file with the Federal Reserve their assets and liabilities that has been moved off the bank's books. See, they still see, the Federal Reserve, they all see what they really owe you. But they manipulate our perception of reality to keep us focused on the accounts receivables, which is represented by your loan account. But what they're not showing you is the other side of the books. In the other side of the books, the proper accounting can be found under ASC 860, 820, 230, because that's how you give the proper accounting, by learning the proper accounting standards. You don't give a proper accounting based on what you say, how you feel, what someone told you to do. You got to go by the books. That's how you give the proper setoff or recoupment. Because UCC 3, UCC 305, 306, that is what they're talking about. That's coming straight from the accounting, the ASC. So if you understand the ASC, then you'll know how to put a claim for recoupment in. And that is what you should be looking for, the claims to the recoupment. Recoupment of the proceeds. Want to know why? Want to know why you want the recoupment of the proceeds? Because when you get a recoupment of the proceeds, then that automatically, by operation of law, extinguishes your accounts receivables. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. So that, because what we didn't realize, and what I didn't realize a couple years ago, is that is when the accounts, the books are extinguished. So your liability to them is extinguished on their books, but they're holding you liable under that contract, which you said you will pay them back. But on the books, you notice how if you ask a full copy of the promissory note, they're never going to give you the copy of the promissory note in which they converted it into a money order. You notice they're only going to give you the initial one that you signed, because that is the accounts receivable side. But what they don't know is the asset, because remember, matching principles, it's a duality. The accounts receivable is an asset of them, which is a liability to us. But the accounts payables is an asset to us and a liability to them. So on their consolidated balance sheets, they're extinguishing that off. So Federal Reserve, government, hey, this debt is settled. But on the front end, this is where they hit you with contract law. Hey, you agreed to pay, so you got to pay. And that's the only reason why you pay. So on their books, and if you look at extinguishment of debt under ASC, if you look at that, it tells you the debtor must recognize on their books, and the debt must be extinguished regardless if the creditor releases you from the obligation or not when these events happen. Just read and study that section. Matter of fact, just go to ASC and start reading the whole thing. There's no point in just pointing out different sections to read. Read it all. I guarantee you're going to find it in there. And that's when I started getting different responses from these banks and credit card companies when I stopped with the congressional records and this and the money they don't loan, and I started going straight to their accounting, their balance sheet, their books. That's what, you know, that's what I was like, oh, because 3-4 years ago, I'm congressional rep. I said, yeah, this is by Congress. Yeah, but then I started to realize I'm not really getting the desired response. So let me see what they do. That's all it's on. Let me see how their books are. And then I started realizing, oh, they're moving the liability off the books. So by me sitting there arguing with this credit card company, I'm not realizing that, oh, the books is way over there. See, that's their asset-backed trust, their mortgage-backed securities trust. See, that's where our books is at the service. I'm talking to the wrong people. That's why they don't know what I'm talking about. They ain't looking at those books. Those books are way over there. So we'll waste years arguing the servicer down. We just purely ignorance because we didn't know. And I don't blame them for us not knowing. I blame myself for not knowing. I give myself no outs because most people, well, how was you supposed to know? The same thing that the stuff that you know now that you didn't know before you knew. We didn't wake up. We wasn't born with all this knowledge. We went out and acquired it. The same way, how what you know how to do now, at once upon a time, you did not know how to do. Same principles. But too many people want to start giving in that right there, and those little parameters right there. They want to start giving all a bunch of excuses. We didn't know. I wasn't raised this way. Didn't know this. Didn't know this. Listen, anybody that's successful in this stuff, pretty much 95% your first time in your whole family. So that is what it is. So when we go back to closing, this is when the debt is extinguished. YouTube tripping. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, y'all. I swear to God, I get so many emails. I don't know. I swear, I did everything I could. I wrote them. I did everything I could. I'm looking at my phone now. My YouTube notification ain't even pop up yet. It ain't even pop up on my YouTube notification. He said, time for that class action lawsuit. YT moving like them sovereign citizens. Another day above ground. Let's get it. Yeah. So what the point I'm trying to make to everyone is when we sign these mortgage, credit card applications, all that with regards to a secure transaction, We are creating the asset for them to monetize. Now, it is the proceeds from that asset. It's the proceeds from that asset. That is what creates the liability, the accounts payables side of the books. But we don't put a claim to it at closing. This is the claim that we make at closing. Because if we don't make this claim at closing we have abandoned our security, have abandoned our rights, and have subjected ourselves to the investors of that issuing entity, the mortgage-backed securities trust or the asset-backed trust. And then from up there, it becomes an uphill battle. And my accountant, she told me, and I thought I understood a couple months what she meant, that you wouldn't believe how many Americans leave hundreds of thousands of dollars on the tables every year, because she does accounting for Keller Williams. So she does the corporate side accounting. So I know she's looking at these sets of books. And what is these corporations and these banks are reporting this to the IRS as? A gift from us to them. And this is why they don't pay the taxes on it. Because remember, IRS, now we in tax law now. See how quick it changes from accounting to tax law? Yeah, gift tax law, that fast. Who pays the taxes on the gift? The donor. Who is granting the deed of trust? We are. And if you read ASC, I think it's section 7 under 230, one of those, it's talking about the tax credits for these companies and what amount of our payments are being booked as income tax payments. Because that is exactly what they're doing. They're just billing us for the taxes. And this is why when we get our documents together, presented to the IRS, the excess amounts, the interest amounts, and all those, we are putting forth our evidence to the IRS that these are taxes that we've already paid. So it's closing. It's the closing is where we need to be putting our counterclaim in. And this transaction and this account, it falls under UCC 8. Because it's a negotiable instrument when we sign it. But when they take possession of it and they countersign, they're converting it into a security. See what I'm saying? So that one instrument, it's a negotiable instrument, but it turns converted into a security. That means there is a deposit of funds against the security. And this is where understanding the monetary system of the United States. Stop going off the ancient 1933 definition of how money is and just stick us solely on the fact that they took the gold from us, but they gave us the equivalent form of money that we use today. That settled the books. And this is the part that really with these teachers, they like that dude, conditional acceptance. He kept talking about since they took the gold, but he did not say that, well, they did pass an executive order April 1st, 1933, that you're returning to all your gold coin, bullion, all your silver. You were required to do that by an executive order, but I don't know why he didn't. I mean, if he didn't finish reading the executive order, because it clearly states that you will be provided an equivalent form of currency. And that is the same currency we use today. So this is why that argument falls that, well, they had to provide us this remedy because they took the gold and silver from us. Well, number one, they didn't never take the gold and silver from you and I because we wasn't born back then. And the people that they did take the gold and silver from they gave them the equivalent value. It was an executive order. So when I was telling people that's in the sovereign community, why did they they got mad at me. No, they didn't. And then I read out word for word what the executive order said, verbatim. And they still said, nah, that's not what happened. And I was like, listen, y'all, I know you have to believe it like this because this is, I know you have to believe this one way because you've been learning this way for so long and you don't want to seem like you wasted time or you are wrong. But y'all, this is the point where y'all gotta just look at reality in the face. That argument is going to fail every time. Then one lady hit me in the email. She was like, she's so confused now because we got all these people saying this. Now you're coming saying that. People, I say this is the problem with everybody in these spaces, majority of them. You guys, you are so caught up in just doing what another person says do instead of taking it with a grain of salt and then confirming or denying it with your own independent research. That's your responsibility. That's not no one else's responsibility. I don't give a damn if I'm sitting here telling y'all I got the keys to the fucking Holy Grail. And this is part laziness on the students because they're so used to taking everything at face value. Y'all, the students, y'all have allowed these people to make thousands and thousands and tens and thousands of dollars off packages, whatever, documents that was never fully vetted or researched. Some people literally brought documents filled with outdated, cherry-picked statues. You know, they pick and choose which statues they want to add in there. And then they don't read it. They don't research it. They just put their name on it, send it off, hoping a miracle will happen, then get upset when that miracle doesn't happen within 30 days. Do I understand the mindset, why the success rate is still like less than 2%? Because it's the mindset. It's a certain mindset you need for this. There is no microwave remedy in these spaces, and everyone should know that by now because everybody done tried every way from Sunday. And most of them has tried every way but the right way. But for some reason, the right way is always off-putting to a lot of people. It's COVID-19. Like you want to stay away from it. And I'm take my time out, tell people the right way. And for real, I don't even think that's good enough. I think people's mind are just made up and they are so stuck in their belief system that they're just not going to change, no matter what evidence is in front of them. So at closing, like when you sign the promissory note, deed of trust, and y'all, this applies to auto, credit card. So when you sign the note, it's an evidence, it's an IOU, evidence of indebtedness. But when they put paid to the order of the issuing entity, that now becomes a security. We got to get off that everything is just a negotiable instrument and it's going to stay a negotiable instrument. Because if it was a negotiable instrument, then they would ask for the money on demand. It will mature on demand. except it matures between 15 and 30 years. And everyone should know that by now. Title 15 USC 70 AC. It's a security if the maturity date is beyond 9 months. I've not seen one mortgage that matured in under 9 months. And then this is where understanding the economy and how money is issued. Watch those economy videos on YouTube. Stock market crash, financial. They got good, they put out by PBS, CSNBC. They got good documentaries on it by economists, people with Harvard, Yale, Ward. Like, these are the people you need to be listening to when it comes to the economy, not a teacher on TikTok. Money is issued against debt. Without debt, we would not have an economy. So we keep talking about, oh, reducing national debt, but no, the debt is going to continue to expand because without debt, there will be no money issued. Federal Reserve notes are issued against government bonds or other assets and collaterals that we pledge. The problem with March 9th, 1933 is we got so caught up on the money will represent a mortgage on all the homes and other property of all the people in the nation. But what you don't understand is that was not the reason why money will be issued versus a pledge of our property. And the property the government is talking about was not necessarily homes or tangible assets. To be honest with you, the IRS's definition of property, it's not the house itself. They could give a shit about the house. It's all about those debt instruments, those securities. So when your promissory note is converted into a security, then that's how the capital is raised. That's how the investors put up the money to finance your home purchase activities. It's not the property itself. The property itself on their books, you are gifting them that to use. In our mind, it's held as collateral security. But what's really going on is they're getting free use of your property to make millions of dollars with no consideration in return. Because if it was used solely as collateral security, if that was the sole purpose of you pledging your property as security for the debt, why is it being transferred into all these trusts, all these remix, these real estate mortgage investment conduits? And then why are trust certificates or trust notes issued against that deed of trust? If it's just being held for collateral security. And this is where our mindset must change with when we get new information and new knowledge. We can't be successful in this acquiring new knowledge, but in your everyday life, you're doing the same things you did 10 years ago. So the asset is the note, deed of trust, the contract. The proceeds from that is what creates a accounts payables on their books. They owe you the proceeds. They know that. That's why they move it off the books. So when you make payments on your mortgage, do you know where it's really going to? It's going funneled from your account to the servicer and credit it to the collateral agent's account on behalf of the note holders of that trust. That's where it's ending up at. That makes you a third-party beneficiary to the trust. And this is why I tell everybody, stop jumping out, getting these fly-by-night securitization audits on your mortgages. I've read, oh my gosh, at least 50 of them. And all of them are defective except for one. And people pay $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. All of them are defective. Can't use it. One thing it's good for is identifying the name of the trust. And I could just search this SEC database to get that. Wonder why it's defective? Because it's not proving nothing to you. Because securitization in their eyes is legal. It's normal business. The government has abandoned it. So they can sell your mortgage. The problem is these securitization audits, these mortgage audits, or these credit card audits, they're not connecting your payments from the payments, principal and interest from you and ending up in the collateral agent's account on behalf of the beneficiaries of the trust. And they know this. That's why they don't do that type of research. They're playing both sides of the field. Even when the government brought a charge against, the CFPB brought a charge against credit acceptance, they were talking about securitization with investors, but they did not expressly put, which they might as well, that the borrower's payments are being funneled directly to the trustee of the trust or the collateral agent, whoever's holding that account on behalf of the issuing entity for the benefit of the note holders or certificate holders. This is securitization at its best. But the government, even the government left that out. Because that is pure on its face. That the only thing that the server's getting is a percentage of the payments as a kickback. It's an illegal Ponzi scheme that they're running, and it is a tax avoidance scheme. This is why they're quick to refund you your interest payments if your mortgage was caught up in a securitization, in which 99% of mortgages are today. Want to know why they are? Because banks are not allowed to hold property, real estate, for more than 5 years. That's the Currency Act of 1864. 1 second. So I don't think it's beneficial to anyone to sit there and keep talking about, we got bare necessities, we need food, clothing, shelter. That's what the 1099-A process is about. It's not to be used to get funds to make you more money. That's going to make you more self-sufficient. So you have to deal with these people. No, don't use the money to go invest in the business. That's not what it's for. You should use it just to be reliant for the government to take care of your bare necessities that a grown, functioning, a human adult should be able to do on their own. Even that conditional acceptance character had a poverty mindset. Poverty mindset is not centered around one race. It's centered around the mindset of the individuals. That's what the poverty mindset is about. Has nothing to do with race, color, creed, religion, background, nationality, or demographics. Has nothing to do with that. So when you understand that your accounts payables is created at closing. Now, this is how you put the claim, and you'll know about all this when you read the accounting standards codification. You're going to know exactly what they're supposed to file, how they do it, and you're supposed to understand, and you'll know that they have to file these balance sheets with the Federal Reserve every quarter. That's why understanding this and reading that, you can ask them, can you give me a copy of your balance sheet that you filed with the Federal Reserve? Let me get a copy of your balance sheet. Or you can FOIA it. Because without you knowing how the books work, every other thing that you bring up is kind of like secondary. It really is not relevant because it's still not proven that they owe you anything. Now you can bring up all the illegalities and what they did. And that's where everybody focuses on. But no one is focusing on the books and the fact that your property was contributed to the trust, which makes you a third-party investor to the indentured agreement or the pooling and service agreement or the contribution agreement or the sales and servicing agreement or the mortgage loan purchase agreement. All securitization, by the way. Nah, brother, one thing you got to understand, Thomas Heritage Foundation, securitization has been around for a very long time, brother. It's not nothing new. Securitization been around for a very long time. I mean, you can learn about securitization by a simple Google search. Securitization has been around for a long time. Understanding the books and accounting has been around for a very long time. It's been around for a very long time. I mean, I have a 7-series securities broker that's my friend, and I get a lot of backdoor information from him. He's a 7-series securities broker. So all these instruments I'm talking about, once they get converted into collateralized debt obligations and then hedge funds invest in them, we talking about double, quadruple the amount of proceeds that we will be entitled to. This is nothing new. You can't really put this on one person who started all this. They've been teaching this stuff, been taught since the 70s, 80s. Look how long Wall Street been around. Wall Street been around forever. You got people teaching this stuff in the 80s. Literally, 80s people were teaching this stuff to people. And one thing that don't ever change is the accounting, the books. I don't care where you go, you got to know the books on anything. You got to know the books on anything that you do. And even this character, Mr. Bill, was right. Hopefully you took advantage of what he said and been successful. Because if Bill, whoever Mr. Bill, if he was saying this stuff, then God damn it, he's right too. There's nothing new under the sun. That's the problem. Like, too many people get so caught up on who's saying this, who said that first, who said, are you doing it? That's the main thing. Are you doing it? And I'm speaking in general, everybody. Are you doing it? I have a court case from 1969 with Mr. Daly. 1969. Well, Mr. Daly was talking about the same thing in this claim against the bank in which he won back in 1969. And he was talking about the books in this claim against the bank. Martin Luther King was talking about, he was, you know, in a roundabout way in his speeches towards the end of his life. This ain't nothing new. And if you listen to someone that's teaching correctly, continue to do that. I just hope you did research what he said and put it together for your benefit. Because one thing about me, I do my own independent research. This is why a lot of these teachers, they'll talk about securitization. They'll talk about the books and accounting, but they don't really get into what accounting. Accounting for sales and service and assets, accounting for securitization assets, sales and servicing agreements, debt extinguishment of debt instruments, consolidated balance sheets of securitizations, interest incomes of securitizations, income tax portions on the interest payments from the borrowers in a securitization. Hell, Title 12 CFR 306 talks about security. This ain't nothing new. You know, the bill was right. Everybody been right who knows about securitization. This ain't nothing. The government was right. They created it. The government was right. The government created securitization. That's who was right. That's who was right. The government was right. Not Mr. Bill, not me, not anyone. The government was right. Hold on. The government was right. Remember, y'all, the government created this. We got to stop thinking that individuals created this. The government created this. Now, and I'm saying it, bro, because you got to stop. All of us, we got to stop looking at individuals. Who said it first? Who said it first? Then none of these people said it first. The government said it first. The government said it first. The government had this shit out here forever. The government created this, brother. Look, right there. You see that? See that? Treatment of financial assets transfer in connection with a securitization or participation. That's the United States government. Code of Federal Regulations. Banks and Banking. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Right there. Right there. That's the federal government right there. That's who did it first. Federal government right there. That's why I'm always saying this ain't nothing new. I ain't telling you nothing new. This shit been around because I know unless I'm the federal government and I'm the people that's sitting in that committee writing these laws, those lawyers for the government, and they sitting down with the congressmen and the heads of the Secretary of the Treasury, the heads of the Federal Reserve, FDIC, sitting down making these rules and laws. Unless I was in there adding my 2 cents, I will never lay claim to something that I'm bringing to you all and no one else ever has, because it's impossible. This shit been teaching for 40, 50 years. They've been out, this stuff been circling around. We just think it's new because our mindsets did not take up stuff like this as important as growing up. I know mine's didn't. 15 years ago, you think I'd be sitting around trying to learn about a securitization? I'm sitting around trying to learn about where that next bag coming in at. What move can I make today? Any means necessary. That's what the fuck I was worried about. I wasn't worried about no securitization back then. I'm worried about, yo, Where that next bag at? Where that next bag at? Who I got a blitz today? What bank I got to slide a note on? Like what's the move today? But I did get a lot of really started taking securitization serious when I ran into Bernie Madoff. I really started taking securitization serious when I ran into him. Yep. When I ran into him, that's when I started taking it serious. And this is where understanding, hold on. This is where, is this it? Yeah. This right here. This is securitization. This right here is securitization at its best. It said that's provided, and it said that's otherwise provided in this section. The right to enforce the obligation of a party to pay an instrument is subject to the following. Now, a defense of the obligor based on infancy of the obligor to the extent that is a defense to a simple contract. Number 2, lack of duress, lack of legal capacity, or illegality of the transaction, which under law nullifies the obligation of the obligor. Fraud that induced the obligor to sign the instrument with either knowledge or reasonable opportunity to learn of its character or its essential terms. Now, with the illegal securitization, that could be a claim. Or a defense of the obligor stated in another section of this article, or a defense of the obligor that will be available if the person entitled to force an instrument were enforcing a right to payment under a simple contract. And watch this. A claim in recoupment of the obligor against the original payee of the instrument if the claim arose from the transaction that gave rise to the instrument. But the claim of the obligor may be asserted against a transferee of the instrument, only to reduce the amount owing on the instrument at the time the action is brought. There you go. That's why I said your recoupment claim is now used as a set-off claim. You set off your obligation on the instrument, the promissory note, the contract, or whatever, against the amount they owe you in recoupment. This is all based on you understanding accounting. This is why they wrote it into the UCC. This is why they wrote it in. Defenses and claims of recoupment. That's accounting 101. Oh, yeah, that dude, Mr. Bill, I think remember you talking about, he'll drop you nuggets, right? But boy, you better already had the level of understanding before you start talking to him. Because they ain't going to tell you black and white. He ain't going to show you black and white. He going to drop some little, he going to make it, he going to sound roundabout, which they all do. Talking roundabout. They ain't never going to be like, yo, you need to research this. Like, when I just showed 12 CFR 3, they not doing that. They may do a little bit that's broad, but the intricate details, he would never tell you to look at the RC balance sheets, RC3, RC4, RCC, RCD, RCE under FFI. They not going to. That's what's in my Supreme Elite Team group. The direct sections that's stating what I'm saying, the highlighted sections, and a lot of stuff that I drop in the group, a lot of my members didn't even know exists. And that's value within itself. Coming across information and knowledge that you didn't even know exists. Not only that information that you didn't know exists is an integral key part in your recoupment or your remedy or whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's no worse thing that I can think of is having a in your presentment, you got a missing piece, but you don't even know what the missing piece is, or that missing piece don't even exist. This is why I tell a lot of people, I know they get excited and they get a half information, they get the basics down pat. And they want to go move. And I tell them to no, because I did the same thing. When I was younger, an infant in this, get a little half of knowledge and think you're ready to take on these people. And then you come back and start studying more, realize, damn, I ain't have that in there. Damn, I missed this. Damn, I ain't bring that up. Damn, I missed that. I missed this. That's what I tell people. Take your time and wait and study. Take your time. And I don't think that's a bad thing to do. The only people who are rushy are people who are looking for immediate results. And they think the sooner they get their documents out the door, the sooner their results are going to come in. And for some reason, a lot of people think the success rate is 80%, that everybody just walking around here getting remedy all day, every day. That's what I'm saying. They ain't no, what you in a rush for? The success rate is still less than 2%. Out of 100 people, 2 out that 100 is going to get the remedy. Out of 100,000, maybe 5 is going to get that remedy. Out of 1,000,000, 10 is going to get the remedy. Out of 100 million people, 100 people is going to get the remedy. That's how low the success rate is. And that's the absolute reality. And before you get your results, you are going to go through a battle with them. You're going to have to prove you understand. It's not knowing, because people who don't know what's going on, they can still throw statues on the document. And those are the statues that they learned in some Telegram and TikTok group. They ain't never researched it, applied it to their situation. They just familiar with it and throw it on there. It ain't the statues you quote at them that they care about. They care about, do you really understand? And your understanding is going to be evidence in your documents. That's why I tell people, be careful with templates, because one template cannot cover everybody's situation. Everybody's case is their own. And the IRS is clear on this, black and white. And I'll pull it up. It's in my files. That their determination on every situation is on a case by case, depending on its own circumstances and facts. And I do this so people won't think that all I need is the right template for one, and you go make a Xerox copy and then go sell it, and thinking everybody in your group that get it, they're going to get remedy. Because it's not as easy as everybody tries to make it. And they only tell you that, you notice how they'll get you in there, get you in the class, you already paid, and then you notice it's always something different now. Like you got to do more. Or you got to have this set up first. So you got to have this, and you got to have that, and you got to do this. You got 5,000 steps to get there. But they don't tell you the 5,000 steps before the class starts. A person taking an instrument other than a person having rights of it holding a due course is subject to a claim of a property or possessory right in the instrument or its proceeds, including a claim to rescind a negotiation and to recover the instrument or its proceeds. The trustee that's taking this, these debt instruments, they're not the holder of due course, because they're taking the property subject to the claim, and they have to, and they had to have rights and knowledge of there's a claim on this instrument when they took it. They're not taking it free and clear of title. That's why they put it on your auto contracts. You're taking this right subject to the defenses and claims. And where's proceeds come from? The proceeds generate from the instrument. That is the funding. That is the accounts payable side. That's the money they owe you. Just those the proceeds they owe you, just like you would deposit a payroll check into the bank. That's all under the ASC accounting. It's all in there. Proceeds from assets, what they must report, this, that, and there, all that. because that's a cash receipt. Read the ASC definition of cash receipts. It's a cash payment to the bank and a cash receipt to the borrower. That's why I tell people, when we start understanding negotiable instruments, you will learn and you will know that when you're looking at your deed of trust and your promise and all your documents, you'll stop looking at it as something to get stressed about or something to hide from or ignore and hope it disappears or hope someone from YouTube creates a miracle for you. Instead, you'll be looking at that as an asset to you, which evidences the proceeds. It represents the other sets of books. The off-balance sheet, the off-the-books bookkeeping, or the off-balance sheet bookkeeping. And they move it from their books, like let's say Bank of America. They move it from Bank of America's book and put it in Bank of America Mortgage Trust. When they transfer it, and the proceeds are credited via book entry, they create a deposit liability because who gave the instrument? This is why they need to get the asset from you so they can sell it. But the asset is really yours, and they know that. Because they're not obligated on it, you're obligated on it. So it's an asset to you and the accounts payables to them. I mean, accounts payables to you and accounts receivables on their end. That's the other side of the books. Remember, matching principles. You can never have both accounts payables, accounts receivables must match. And that's in the FFIEC. That's there. That's right there, black and white. Their assets must match their liabilities. Where they move their liabilities somewhere else, so the only thing they see is their accounts receivables, money that you owe them. And you give the proper accounting to them when you read the accounting, the accounting standards codification, or you can just read the FASB. Read the accounting standard. Just read they tell you how to do the proper accounting. See that? Property or possessory right. This is all the accounting. This is based on the transfer of your assets and the securitization. That's why when I started reading the UCC, after studying accounting, going back over it again, that's when I started understanding the UCC more. That's when I started understanding UCC is flooded in trust law. It's flooded in trust law, in accounting. It's flooded in trust law and accounting. You understand trust law, taxes, and accounting, your understanding of the UCC is going to be even more, and you're going to start making the right arguments in it. An action based on an adverse claim to a financial asset, whether framed in conversion, replubbing, constructive trust, because that's what they do. They create a trust, constructive trust, equitable lien, or other theory may not be asserted against a person who acquires a security entitlement under 8501 for value without notice of adverse claim. See, people don't even know how to bring a suit correctly. Yeah. Notice of adverse claim. Adverse claims means a claim that a claimant has a property interest in a financial asset, and that is a violation of the rights of the claimant for another person to hold, transfer, or deal with the financial asset. There you go, right there. That's your claim against the remake. That's your claim against the trust. That's your claim against the auto loan trust. That's your claim. Then you bam, hit them with the accounting. Then bam, hit them with trust law. Then bam, hit them with the taxes. I guarantee you, everything you sent them before, I guarantee right now, follow those principles, I guarantee you're going to have a different outcome. I guarantee you're going to have a different outcome this time. Adverse claim. It's a financial asset. You already know what it is. Oh, shit. Entitlement holder means a person identified in the records of a securities intermediary as the person having a security entitlement against the securities. There you go, right there. Bam. You're the entitlement holder. Yep. Look, directing transfer or redemption of a financial asset to which the entitlement holder has a security. There you go. You have to prove you are the entitlement holder. Look, acquisition of security entitlement for securities intermediary. Who's the securities intermediary? Huh? Remember book entry? Remember to say they credit the account of the collateral agent's account for the issuing entity for the benefit of the beneficiaries through book entry? All accounting. It's all accounting. That's why they have this here for the people who figure out the accounting of these transactions. These are our rights, our remedies, our equities for those who understand the accounting portion of it. And then the trust law portion of it. This is why these rights are here. So we got stopped. Oh, we don't get everything. They took everything. Give us lack of disclosure. No, it's here. You have to do the work because the remedy is only for those who understand the securitization, the accounting, and the taxes. Although these are three of some of the most hardest complex topics, but still, you get the point. It's only for those people. It's not for people who want to make up their own shit, authenticate the birth certificate, send this in, did this, file that, 5,000 documents you filing, that means nothing. And then people going around selling those documents like it's gold. How the hell you got one person selling one document for like, hold on one second, y'all. It has me like, you got one person selling 50 people the same document. So you act like the government, like when you send it and everybody send it to the same place. The only difference is they got their name on it. Like the people that are buying, are they really like? I got using any type of logic? Like, how the hell these people, they looking at 50 of the same wording, same type and topic, same shit, same, just a different name. Like they just passing out government cheese. Oh, this form up, yeah, cut them a check. Oh, cut them a check. Matter of fact, go make, because if they do one, they got to do 50. They got to do 50. They got to do 100. They got to do 100. They got to do 1,000,000. Y'all know people that's desperate and down in these spaces, just like you drop something like a hot dog on the ground. You looked at it. You ever been to a cookout? You drop a piece of food on the ground. You eat it, falls to the ground. You look down. Hold on, I might be. I have to take this. Hello? Hello? Oh shit. Hello? Well, You drop it on the ground, you look down, about 1 million ants there. There ain't no move, there ain't no move with silence, move. I gotta move. Yeah, nah. 2 weeks later, everybody, you got $5,000. You got people that ain't never been in these spaces, don't know nothing about the shit. Where that paper at? Give me a check. Look at this poverty mindset here. Look at Chase. Look at everybody. I'm talking about it was a glitch. No, just an error where instead of the holding period, you was allowed to withdraw it all. It's not a glitch. You're writing a bad check on purpose. And the fact that, all right, been down that road. It's just, look, everybody that did that, look, poverty mindset. And then coming back on, damn, man, why they do that? They said I'm going to go to jail for paying back. Oh, it's their fault. They should have never let me get the money. You wrote a bad check from the beginning. Well, they should. Look, lack of accountability. I'm telling y'all, this shit don't never cease to amaze me. Securities account. See, this is why I'm telling y'all to read their 8K, 10K filings with the SEC so you know what type of account your mortgage is. Your auto, like you got to do your research first. That's what makes this easier to understand. But if you don't know what a financial asset is, if you don't know what type of account your mortgage payments are being held in, then you're not going to understand the securities account. You might not think it applies to you. Because you, based on like your own anecdotal understanding what you think it is, you're looking for a mortgage account. Because that's the only thing that you know. You got to expand. What we think has nothing to do with what is. Financial asset is or may be credited. That's the proceeds. That's where it's credited in. And the agreement is, read the 8K, 10K filings of the company that you're dealing with. You're going to see all those agreements. Indicates by book entry that finance being credited person can receive the financial asset from the person or acquires a financial asset for the person and either successful credit or becomes obligated by other law, regulation, or rule to credit a financial asset to a person's securities account. That's what makes you those are the 1, 2, or 3 what makes you the entitlement holder. Now, see, if a condition of subsection B has been met, a person has a security entitlement, even though the securities intermediary does not itself hold the financial asset. They're basing this off securitization because what do? They move it off the books. Oh, yeah, I can see through all this. I can see securitization, trust law, and accounting all in this. If a condition of subsection B, okay, right there. If a security intermediary holds a financial asset for another person, and the financial asset is registered in the name of, look at this, payable to the order of. Remember I said, what did they put when they sign that promissory note after you done something? They can't wait for you to leave the bank. You sitting there taking all the pictures with your keys, jumping on social media. Look at my first home. Look, y'all, we got our first. Only you just gave all your proceeds away. You just abandoned it right there. 2 years later, Thomas Legacy, I need help. My mortgage. No, you was taking pictures. Why don't you do that? Why don't you put your claim in that closing? Remember, register in the name of, payable to the order of, or specially endorsed to the other person. It has not been endorsed to the securities intermediary or in blank. The other person is treating as holding the financial asset rather than having a security entitlement with respect to the financial asset. Told you. See, that's how they're not the holder in due course, because it's subject to our claims and they know it, and they're waiting for us to come make a claim because they know somebody going to do it. But as the years went by, they're like, damn, nobody's making a claim. Damn, nobody's making a claim. Damn. Hey, IRS, can we have this? Well, let's see. Look, it's been years. They ain't come claim it. Yeah, you can have it. All right. It's a gift. Bill them for the taxes. Huh. Look at that right there. If it's registered in the name of, payable to the order of, especially endorsed to the other person, it has not been endorsed to the securities intermediary or in blank, the other person is treating as holding the financial asset directly rather than having a security entitlement with respect to the financial asset. Want to know what that says? They don't even have the right to foreclose. They don't even have a security interest. Right there. The mere fact that they put payable to the order of the other person. Remember? The other person and not the securities intermediary. See? It had not been endorsed to the securities intermediary. The other person is treated as holding the financial asset rather than having a security entitlement with respect to the financial asset. Remember what the IRS says? If the lender, so-called securities intermediary, transfers the property, security, debt to another person other than the lender, that security is deemed to be abandoned by the lender. See, that's where tax law comes in at. See, right there. All you gotta do is know the books, no trust law, no taxes. You'll spank them. I'll be surprised if it did get to court. If it did get to court, you're coming in as the plaintiff because you're bringing an adverse claim and you got all the books. You got their own words against them. What's the AK 10K filing? You got evidence of payments going directly to the trustees for the beneficiaries of the trust. They're not the entitlement holder. They don't have a securities entitlement. They don't have the subject. The court won't even have subject matter jurisdiction over their claim, and they don't even have a security interest in the property to foreclose. And then, since you already know the books, with the remaining balance that they owe you is the exact remaining proceeds that they owe you. So this, when we merge the titles, and that's what we set off. And when you bring this up to them in detail form, most of the time I have to go to court. When you break it up in detail form, and a lot of them, you know what happened is they may not respond to you directly because they don't want to give you the benefit of the doubt of saying you beat them. So you go file a claim in court. That's the plaintiff. And then they won't even show up. They'll rather the judge just enter an order against them instead of like them just saying you won. They'd rather the judge do it so they can write it off as their books as operating laws. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Instead of giving you the satisfaction of saying you beat them. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's all right there. That's why when I started studying this stuff, I was like, yo, now I'm understanding the UCC. It's all trust law, accounting, sprinkle, and you can sprinkle little aspects of that and see how it applies to taxes. But UCC is bred in trust law and accounting. And that's their way of giving us our rights. Woo! The servicer lender doesn't have an AK 10K filing, but if they are consolidated, if they have other entities, they do. They may be under a different name, FHA. Security interest, what the fuck then? Yeah, make a claim. Yep. That's why those are our claims right there. That's why we abandon them. We abandon them at closing. Those are our claims right there. Adverse claim right there. Right there, you should be having the accounting, your invoice for the proceeds, and your notice of adverse claim. Your filings with the IRS, within 30 days, you're supposed to be, bam, in court. If they don't set it off for 30 days. Right there. At closing. And if you want to do business with them, hey, I got an equitable interest pledge agreement. I have one that I drew out for JP Morgan. I don't really have business with them, but I just use them as the standard. Have a copy of that equitable pledge agreement. It is for sale, but I'm going to vet who I sell it to. It's for educational purposes only. Continue your studies for years, but I'm going to vet who I sell it to, because some people I just can't. I'm going to seriously vet. I know there's a lot of people who want to be teachers and they go parasiting in other classes and groups, then going back to their own group, teaching them new shit like they figured it out themselves to keep those people engaged. I know a lot of people do it a lot. Do your own study, do your own research, then teach your people. Don't come parasite off other groups, acting like a student, then running back to your private groups like you the big grand teacher. Nah. I mean, everybody got to be a student at some point. Got to know when to teach. Got to know when to lead. Got to know when to follow. Just don't try to make it seem like, oh, you've been talking all this way for 3 years. You had your group. Now all of a sudden you're talking like this, and you ain't do the time to put the research in. But closing is where, if you want to do business with them still, you can have your equitable interest pledge agreement. When you're doing the closings, you'll be making a claim to the proceeds from the asset because the capital was provided based on the assets, which includes the application. Or if they don't want to do business like that, when they try to stick you with the mortgage, hit them with the notice of adverse claim, and then ask them to see the books. Ask them for the books. That's what you ask them for, the books. Ask them for your quarterly balance sheet. Ask them for the quarterly balance sheet. Let me see. No, hold on. I'm going to try to, hold on 1 second, y'all. Ask them for the quarterly balance sheet. Come on, man. I know people got a lot of shit to say, but I know they watch from the clouds. They can't stay away. No, they watch from the clouds. It is what it is. They watch from the clouds and run back to their group like they the first ones to ever figure this shit out. I don't even say I'm the first one to figure it out because I know I ain't created. Bam! Woo! Mm-hmm. Primary or secondary credit borrowers. Primary or secondary, and you can request this. And this is authorized under 12 USC. Remember we went over it, 347B, 461. Yeah. This right here. Yeah, Dodd-Frank Reform Street Act. That's our Consumer Financial Protection laws in the Consumer Financial Protection Act. It'll be treated as confidential approximately 2 years under Exemption 4. If it's received after it's already been disclosed that an institution borrowed from the discount window of period of time, will not be treated as confidential in that time period. All you got to do is FOIA them. Look at that right there. Let primary and secondary credit borrows, total securities, federal funds sold and resale agreements, total loans, total assets. You see that? Federal funds purchased and repurchased exclude FIB borrowings, total deposits. Right there. That's going to show what they owe you. That's going to show what they owe you. Now, I know the people that has been accustomed to just the little quick microwave 30-day process. I know they probably hearing this for the first time, even though they've been in these same spaces for 4 or 5 years. I know they're gonna be like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't got time to sit back in 2 years and learn more shit. I'm trying to get some results now, so I gotta go with the shit that I know that's probably gonna produce the quicker results. And everybody who has that mindset always ends up coming back, sending me an email. But remember, they all proved the point. Remember when I said if they knew exactly what it took to get a remedy, they wouldn't be in these spaces in the first place. That's why they always leave and come back. Hell, now you can't put no time limit on this, man. It's going to happen when it's happened. You just worry about making sure your shit is in order. Your shit is in order before you send it out. That's the only thing you can control is what they do. I mean, you do. Because listen, they got to investigate it. Listen, these people are not sitting there twiddling their thumbs until they get our documents in the mail. These agencies get hundreds and thousands of documents, y'all. We're not the only ones. That's why patience has to be a big part of your repertoire. What's up, famous nobody? Right. And it's not what you know. You're right. It's what you can prove. We have to be able to prove this. This is why we got to have all the facts and circumstances surrounding our individual transactions. And then what we can prove is what we push forward. Now, you may have other allegations. You can mention it or use it as it's likely that this happened based on all these facts and circumstances. But if you can't prove it, it's not really an absolute. We stick with what we can prove. And what I can prove is that the assets from the proceeds at closing, which was the capital provided against your security, created in accounts payables from them to you, meaning they owe you the accounts payables. There is a corresponding accounts receivables based on your IOU. And I know that those proceeds are to set off the accounts receivables. And this happened at closing when they moved their accounts payables to you off the books to their special purpose entity. I can prove it without a shadow of doubt, and I can prove it based on their own accounting and their balance sheets. And I can prove that your IOU that you signed, promise to pay back, is a cash receipt because it represents a cash payment to the bank, which is the capital provided by the investors, aka participants in the securitization of your mortgage, auto, credit card, or any other secured transaction. And unsecured. That I can prove. And that is what you all can prove too, as long as you follow the money and understand trust law. Because before I go, I'm going to end it with this. They use trust law to siphon our property from us, but they use accounting to hide their obligation to us off the books. That is what they do. That is what they do. That being said, I want to thank you all, and I will see you all next time.
Okay.
Forward to set, I'ma run up and check in this bag, I'ma drop on the jeweler. I'ma get my respect with a stick in the tank, and my niggas gon' lean like the Cubans. This ain't a movie, I come up with shooters. I got it, the bitch, I'ma use it. Got activists, roll up the cabbage, drink by the gallon, I'm an abuser. Bitch fell in love with a killer. They dance on the world like it's Thriller. I slide on the P like a slow. Them scales be pink on the snow. I'm kicking this door with a stick in their hand, the nigga gon' point to the door. Been around the corner, I get out and serve them. I keep a point if they know it. All I wanted was money in the bad bitch in it, cause up in the plastic. I'm stretching that P like elastic, hoes so scared of my dick like a hat trick. You play with your life, I'ma snatch it. Ops in the blunt, we rolling up cactus. I don't fuck with a bitch and she ratchet, and she better come with an accent. Drove by the set, for the PO, I still got my dick, now deep bitches throat. I stopped on this bitch, I got 3 different flows. Only heat that he had was the heat on the stove. I make a cold and I brick on the way, and the money too long, get that bitch out the safe. As long as it late what I put in this game, take off at your head, get that bitch in the lake. Hey, just sit in the dope with Benita, mix just water and dope with them needles. Still pulling rocks out the pot, cause aunties still be tweaking. Break the block with no condom. Look at what land in the stomach. Look at the bands in my pocket. This falling like hands on a junkie. Forward to set, I'ma run up and check in this bag, I'ma drop on the jeweler. I'ma get my respect with a stick in the tank, and my niggas gon' lean like the Cubans. This ain't a movie, I come up with shooters. I got it, the bitch, I'ma use it. Got activists, roll up the cabbage, drink by the gallon, I'm an abuser. Bitch fell in love with a killer. They dance on the world like it's Thriller. I slide on the P like a slow. Them scales be pink on the snow. I'm kicking this door with a stick in their hand, the nigga gon' point to the door. Been around the corner, I get out and serve them. I keep a point if they know. Do we stay like a shit from my old man? Your bitch for that hair, dope jab. She gon' blow me, cold hand. Pocket swole, dope hands. Chop a drill like a screw. Ballin' like last year. Broke nigga out the picture. Got her wishing like a cake. I blow like 100, that's where I'ma bounce back. Keep it square like a mouse pad. We all in for that money, but not take a cheese. Even out for the mouse trap. We got it wrapped in the bundles. 300 packs in the tunnels. You carry the rock and the fumble. I throw you a brick, she gon' swing on your dick like she in the jungle. My shawty don't come with a nose. The 40 it come with a pole. Hang off the hip. I put your bitch on the stroll. Chopper get hot as the stove. Empty the stick. She tryna eat on this dick. Thirsty, I give her a sip. Right on her lips. I turn the hat to a brick. I break to the ton of the shit. Come get a whip. Forward to set, I'ma run up and check in this bag, I'ma drop on the jeweler. I'ma get my respect with a stick in the tank, and my niggas gon' lean like the Cubans. This ain't a movie, I come up with shooters. I got it, the bitch, I'ma use it. Got activists, roll up the cabbage, drink by the gallon, I'm an abuser. Bitch fell in love with a killer. They dance on the world like it's Thriller. I slide on the P like a slow. Them scales be pink on the snow. I'm kicking this door with a stick in their hand, the nigga gon' point to the door. Been around the corner, I get out and serve them. I keep a point if they know. My shawty don't come with a nose. The 40 it come with a pole. Hang off the hip. I put your bitch on the stroll. Chopper get hot as the stove. Empty the stick. She tryna eat on this dick. Thirsty, I give her a sip. Right on her lips. I turn the hat to a brick. I break to the ton of the shit. Come get a whip. Sit in the dope with Benita. Mix just water and dope with them needles. Still pulling rocks out the pot. Cause aunties still be tweaking. Break the block with no condom. Look at what land in the stomach. Look at the bands in my pocket. This falling like hands on a junkie.